Hello and welcome. Today we're in Portpatrick. I think I'm in Portpatrick anyway. I'm taking you to a castle ruin. It's called Dunskey Castle. Dunskey Castle. I can see it from here. I'm on the top of a cliff. Portpatrick itself is down there. Beautiful turquoise beach. You wouldn't believe this is like, I don't know, 8 miles away from Stranraer where I'm staying. What a hole that is. Honestly, I can't remember it being bad because when I've been here in the past, I've never obviously been around the town at night or anything. But where I'm staying is right in the centre, so you hear all the yobs out drinking. And they're all teenagers. It's just full of underage drinkers, shouting, screaming, singing. It is a hole, a big, big hole. I'm not joking, I was stood outside where I'm staying last night in the doorway of the shop next door, having a cigarette. I know I shouldn't, but I was. And a lad came staggering up the road, and he can't have been more than 13. He were about 13 years old. And he tries opening the door next to me. He says, "Is it shut?" I says, "Yeah." And he's looking really confused, and I says, "Why, do you want a perm or something? This is a lady's hairdresser's. I think you want the pub next door, don't you?" So he staggered into the pub, and, well, I didn't see him come out, so he must have got served. I don't know. But what a hole. Don't go to Stranraer unless you have to go to Ireland. I met one guy yesterday. They've got very, very strong accents as well, by the way, in Stranraer. Met one guy in a bar talking about football. I could not understand a word he was saying. And he was one of these who wanted to talk but didn't want to listen anyway. So I just had to stand there and listen to him for an hour, and I couldn't understand a word he was saying. He invited me to go back and have a drink with him today. I don't think I'll be going. Alright, I can see the castle. I'm quite excited about this one. A nice castle ruin on a cliff on a beautiful day. Well, it's a big shame, but you can't actually get in it. I'm presuming it's for safety reasons, because this is literally hanging off the end of a cliff. A very steep drop at the other side, but they've bolted it up here, so you can't get in. Not that there's much to see, really. It's just a long, skinny castle, but I'd have liked to have seen it from the other side as well, you know? So what can I tell you about it? It was built in the 1100s. It was originally L-shaped. Not originally, they added an extension onto it, but when it became a ruin it was L-shaped. And there's a big ditch going across, which I think is about 68 feet long. A rock ditch which they've dug out. So that's only 68 foot, so it's a very small castle. They filmed 2 movies here, which I've never heard of either of them, but I've heard of one of the guys. 1951 film Kidnapped by Louis Stevenson, his novel, and a 1952 film called Hunted. I might have to check them out tonight. I do like to watch the films. I'll tell you what I did watch. You know, when we were at Coniston Water where that Bluebird boat crashed and the guy died, I watched a documentary about that, about them actually lifting it up, locating it with sonar stuff, I don't know, about the year 2000, locating it and pulling it up. And apparently he didn't have a head. His head had been cut off by the plastic windscreen of the Bluebird, and he was decapitated. And they brought up his body and buried him and brought up the Bluebird, but his skull still remains in the bottom of Coniston Lake, Coniston Waters. So that was one good film. So I'm going to look at these films tonight and see if they're any good. Apparently somewhere underneath the castle, from the bottom of the cliff, there's a big cave, and it goes very deep into the cliff. But you can't get down there. You can't get down to check it out, but there's a big cliff, a big cave, and apparently there's a bagpipe piper ghost which is seen going around this area. That'd be weird, wouldn't it, if you're up here at night and you hear bagpipes and you see a ghost just stood there. That'd be really cool. That'd make a good YouTube video, that. So it became a ruin in 1684, and that's all you need to know about that castle. I've just read loads and loads of paragraphs on Wikipedia, but it were really boring stuff about previous owners and silly names and earls and stuff like that. I'm not going to bore you with that. So yeah, that's the castle. Glad I came just for the view, but no fantastic history there, you know. You might remember in the last video I found a piece of pot which said cream on it. Now one of the viewers actually found the pot online. Here's a picture if I can find it on my computer. Thank you very much for sending me that. And yeah, it actually says Stranraer on it, Stranraer Creamery or something. Now that must be the dairy, which there's a big dairy in Stranraer, and my uncle used to work for them. And here's a true story for you. One of my uncles, my Uncle John, bought a van from another uncle, Uncle Kevin, for a block of cheese. True story. Well, that's what I heard anyway. Fancy selling your van for a block of cheese. Uncle Kevin isn't my uncle anymore, he's not in the family. I'm not surprised. You know, what kind of man sells a van for a block of cheese? I did get told of somewhere I could have metal detected today as well. One of the beaches in Stranraer. A lady got in touch with me on Facebook. She says, get yourself to Cockle Bay in Stranraer. My boyfriend's been metal detecting there for the last 3 days and he's found old coins and even something gold. I can't remember what it was. The low tide's at 3:30. Now it's too late for me because if I'm going to upload a video I have to be back by 4 to start editing to get a video up for like 6, so I can't make it. I can only metal detect really up till 3 o'clock each day, any day. And the tide's just not in his favour at the moment. The only other place I could think to take you today was a church. It's got some like ancient stones with carvings on, really old stones. And they've got them on display in a church behind a glass window, I think. But it's Sunday. I don't like going to churches on Sunday, just in case they've got a service on and they drag you in. I have got one little surprise for you, by the way, guys. A lot of people aren't going to like this, but I don't care. I'm the one who has to look after it every morning. Yeah, I've taken all my hair off. I just got rid. It does look really bad at the moment because I've had a hat on. It doesn't normally look as bad as that. But yeah, size 1 up the sides, get rid. Saves money on shampoo. And you don't need to use a towel. You can just like use your sleeve off your top and go like that. Saves money on washing towels and stuff. So people who have donated in the last few days, we've got Jay Strong, Torbjorn, Kent Johansson, Helen Sharp, Chris Wilson, DeShriver Danny, Brandon Maxwell, Drew Dack, Ralph Simpson, Helena Johansson, Gary Hammond, David Reynolds, John Scott Arnold, Siote Huvilat and Warren Wade. Thank you very much, guys. We're now up to £38,268 raised for Rays of Sunshine. You're doing very well indeed. Please keep the donations coming, people. All the links in the description. Go to diggingthecoast.com and click donate and give everything that you can to help these kids get a wish come true. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's me. As I say, just a quick video to show you that castle. If I do go anywhere else on the way back, I'll add that in. If not, thanks for joining on Digging the Coast 365.